Good evening, and welcome back to Morbid Mondays. I have a whole new term for you, Mortsafe. Now, stay with me on this. We've all been to those graveyards that are old. They've got history, and there's always that one grave that's got a cage on top of it and an urban legend to go with it about the undead. So, I'm here to tell you that that's absolutely wrong. So in the 1800s, there came a demand for cadavers because medical school and real science were becoming a real thing. Problem was, is religion said, no, don't donate your body to science. Science is bad. Science is the devil. And some of those still say that today, but anyway. So, there came a whole new level of grave robber. They weren't stealing stuff, they were stealing bodies, and they were selling them to the schools. So, in retaliation to that, they were like, hey, yo, they can't use the bodies that are old. That means they're only stealing the fresh ones, so let's drop something really heavy, or a gate on top of it, so they can't get in. So they would do that for like 3 or 4 days, till the body was gooey. Right. So gooey bodies. So, okay, I'm sure you've already figured out at this point that they'd only leave it in there until, like, decomposition had set into a point where the body was practically useless for, why is my sister calling me? Sorry, my sister called me in the middle of that. So they left it on there long enough for decomposition to set in, so the body was no longer useful for science. Basically, they couldn't discern goop from goop. Well, like, okay, so decomposition doesn't go that fast, but anyway, that's not the point. The point is, gross, so they didn't dig it up. So, they did this thing where they would essentially rent a slab out. Like, for the people that couldn't afford to put, the fancy ornate gates on their graves permanently, they would rent this slab out and post up guards, so they would just, have a dude on night watch. No grave robbers here. And then, in 4 or 5 days when the body was past its freshness mark, they would pick the slab up and drop it on somebody else's grave. Mortsafe!